We'll try it for a while. Well, listen, it's 12 o'clock. I'd like to invite everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic
which stands
one nation,
under God, indivisible,
with liberty and
justice
justice
for all.
Thank you.
Cheers, Nick.
All right, we're going to call this meeting to order, our December 2nd, 2020 meeting. I'd like to have a approval of the minutes from November 18th. Do we have a motion?
So moved, Commissioner Givens.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Financial report and payment of the bills. Do we have a motion to accept?
Earl Piner, first. So move.
Commissioner Mastriano was second.
Perfect. Any discussion on the financial report? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, you're on. I think we had the first two items we removed from the agenda. The resolution R8 2020 and resolution R9 2020. We removed them from the agenda today. We're going to put them back on the agenda at our next meeting. And we'd like to get a little bit more public input on that because it has been a couple of weeks since we've tabled our decision on this. But if any of the public has any wants to offer some input, that'll give them a little bit more time. Lou, you're on.
That's basically what I wanted to address, because we'll have the public hearing, a subsequent public hearing on the meeting of the 16th, because the last public hearing we had was October 7th. That's almost 2 months ago. And I believe that the public should have an opportunity to offer additional comment if given that opportunity. And I'm sure the board agrees that the opportunity for such a important matter is the establishment of a special taxing district for a large area, the Southfield project, worthy of additional public comment. And additionally, R9, if R8 is enacted by the board, then R9 provides for the issuance of bonds, and that's a critical part of this project in order for them to get enough money to build all the infrastructure. That's what they're looking for in this case. So we will advertise the public hearing for the 16th and give the public an opportunity to voice any concerns or whatever at that point in time. I don't believe we got very many comments last time, but I sure like the opportunity for the public to input on this if they want.
Very good.
The other item I have is that the employees humbly and respectively request the December 31st as a employee holiday this year. And I think it was suggested by Commissioner Piner, and I'm sure that the other board members have joined in authorizing this December 31st, New Year's Eve, the last day of 2020.
Let's get rid of this.
Absolutely.
This year. And I appreciate Commissioner Piner for bringing it up, because we normally get down to the deadline and we all think about it. But Commissioner Piner was on top of this and gave us some time to prepare for it. And I think we all support it.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you. And I wanted to let Commissioner Piner know that my Jeep was not available to him.
Okay. I was going to use it. I want y'all to know that anytime he gets it fixed, your employees can use his Jeep anytime you want.
Oh, nice.
Then we have
I
to
heard
wash
about
it.
that.
Okay, that's the items I had, Mayor.
Okay, well, thank you. The only report I have is I'm so proud to see our newest chief for the town of Elkton is on board with us on our Zoom meeting.
Absolutely.
Carolyn Rogers, thank you so much for accepting the position. As I stated to you in our phone call, we are very proud to have you, and you truly are a success story for our community. And we're going to help you be successful. And I truly mean that. And anything you need from the board, we are here to support you. And I want to welcome you on board. I think that we were going to have a swearing in party live. Is that what our thinking is, Lou?
I think so. We would probably want to do that. Yes.
Yeah, we want to do that live. So we got to get that scheduled. But you are our chief, and thank you. Do you have
Awesome. Thank you all.
anything would you like to say?
Congratulations.
Would you like to say anything?
Well, I'm just very humbled and very honored to be your chief, actually. And I think we have a great organization, and I look forward to working with all of you. And some of you weren't on that interview, but I really am. I'm your chief, and I want to know like what your expectations of me are. And I am always available to you.
Thank you. Fantastic. I mean, that's fantastic. With that, I have nothing new to report. I want to, there's nothing I can report at this time. It's all good stuff, but there's nothing I can report at this time.
Oh, gee.
It's a hanger out there. Jean, do you have anything you would like to talk to us about today?
Uh,
Actually, oh,
I'm sorry. I thought you meant me. Sorry.
do you want to go first since you might have an issue?
No, I'm sorry, Commissioner. I thought the mayor was speaking about development issues, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, I'd like to hear that too, but no, I just welcome Carolyn.
Thank you.
I'm sorry I couldn't be a part of that interview, but I had all the faith in the world on the
Thank you. I
ones,
appreciate that.
but I'm looking forward to talking with you.
I look forward to it.
Thank you.
Commissioner Piner?
I also would like to say welcome to our new chief, and I got a chance to meet her one day downtown. Felt good to be able to just talk to her face to face before I got a chance to see her go into the office with that name. So welcome after 30 some years here.
Thank you.
Back to Elkton.
Thank you.
Commissioner Massimiano?
Same. Congratulations, Chief. We're really glad to have you aboard. I couldn't be happier with the decision.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And the flowers are beautiful. Thank you again.
Oh, you're welcome.
Commissioner Givens?
First of all, Michelle, please send us a list of the meeting dates and time for the remainder of December and what we discussed for January.
Okay, we'll do.
And to the new chief, Police Chief Allen, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you. We had
Rogers.
25,
I answer to all.
pardon. Anyhow, basically, I want to be honest with you. There were 25 candidates, and I believe everybody on the board did not have you ranked. I think realistically, you were a long shot. But, you know, the faith I have, and I just think the good Lord intercede in all of our mind. That's Robbie, Lois, myself, and Joe. And you interviewed very, very, very well. And at that time, you know, we selected you, and it's such an honor because as we look back and as the newspaper stated, you started from the lowest rank of the ranks and you have now risen to the very top. And that's a success story. And I would like to again compliment you on that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm okay being a long shot. I'm fine with that. And I tend to believe, as the article said, that God removed all the obstacles for me. So I appreciate it. And I appreciate the support.
Very
Thank you.
nice. I was a long shot myself, Carolyn.
I'm okay with that.
Yes. Jean Minner, real quickly. I know when I mentioned Jean, you were ready to say anything. Was there something that you would like to add?
I'm kind of curious as to what you have out there, Mayor, that you were going to talk about.
Well, actually, I met with the hotel group today, and I think that there's going to be it's all positive, great information I can share. I can't share it now, but I will share it with each of you individually and let you know where we're going at with that.
Okay.
So
And that'd be great. And that'd be great, Mayor, because we can hear it from you and not from the street.
There you go. Perfect.
so the logistics warehouse site, part of the Southfields planned unit development. That's moving along. They are getting their record plats ready to record the subdivision to subdivide out 3 tracts of land for warehousing and a road right-of-way for a new town road to access those commercial industrial sites. And they are wrapping up their final approvals and are looking forward to picking up a grading permit as soon as possible to get the first warehouse built.
Perfect. This is there's going to be a lot of action next year. A lot of action. We're going to keep Nick busy, aren't you, Gene?
Yeah, I think he's already picking up some responsibilities here.
Very good. Okay, anyone else from the board have anything to state?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead, Gene.
Jogged my memory. Is there an issue between the well placement out there and the sports complex? I was confused by what that gentleman said, Mr. Brown said at the last meeting.
Currently, I'm developing the KCI developed a concept plan that involved 1.25 acres around well number 4 in order for us to have a well and a tower. We need that space for operational maintenance needs. However, I believe that Mr. Brown or whoever is somewhat concerned about that because it might interfere with one of the sports fields. But I put the, between me and the board, I put the well and the tower ahead of a sports field because it's critical infrastructure, and without it, we can't even have the PUD. And also, I need to have long-term operational space and maintenance space too. I can't cut on that right now.
Yeah, I think my concern then, from what he said, is the sports complex might be downsized, but I wasn't sure to what extent. I should have asked him that question, but it's come up, as a question that I've had. Whether how does it affect the sports complex, or is that something you think they're going to work out?
The only conflict was with field 7, I believe. Gene can correct me, but that was the only thing that was affected. Just one of the fields.
Why can't they get it in there, Gene? Is there a reason, or?
I'm not sure what the problem is with adjusting that field, but we're kind of squeezed between the ball field and the existing residential homes on further down in Frenchtown. So we have to make sure we have enough space to build the wellhead and the tower and maintain the tower when the tower has to be have the paint removed and repainted in the future for future maintenance.
Right.
There's if you're near adjacent to residential homes, you have to then sheathe the tower to prevent any kind of paint from getting onto the adjacent properties or any of the wash material they use. So you want to make sure you have enough room to maintain your infrastructure there.
Hey, Gene?
Well, how far from the from Frenchtown Road is the sports complex?
It's right on Frenchtown Road.
I'll tell you. Maybe I should stop in and see that. I'm just curious because I'll tell you, living next to a ball field, it's pure hell.
Well, what happened was originally the layout had the ball field sort of in the middle of the site, and there was a lot of public comment on the density and the impact of the residential units there. And so I had suggested to Ray Jackson if he wanted to talk to the folks that live along Frenchtown Road and see if they would prefer to have the ball fields there instead of all the high density residential units there. And so they must have had a discussion and they decided to flip the layout to put the ball fields near the existing single families on Frenchtown.
Gene, I'm sorry. I was hoping that this was going to come up because as a discussion, because I know that KCI had done a plan for this the water tower, And my suggestion was going to ask, was there, or has anybody mentioned a option two? Does it have to actually go into this one place, or can we find a option two for this ball field to be able to work its issue out? In other words, do we have to go with just one idea where the water tower is, Lou?
One of the, to answer your question, the answer is yes. If the developer developed an alternative site with adequate space to put the tower somewhere else and was properly engineered and laid out, that is possible. But they've never submitted a plan up to this point where that tower would be located. Originally, I think the KCI had wanted to put the tower out there along 213, if you remember, Gene.
Was that
And that's slated for commercial development out there. So they would have to cut out an acre of that commercial property somewhere if that's where they want to put it. But I don't know. We've never got a plan from Stonewall Capital or anybody else that says, okay, we can't put it there, let's put it here, and then let them engineer it.
That's my question. I mean, we're going by the proposal from KCI, but yet we didn't hear from the developer where they really wanted. That's just what KCI said, and that's where we got to go. I'm just asking if there's a second option. I would like to see another option if we could.
Well, let me comment on that, because Ray Jackson, who's Stonewall Capital, way back months and months ago, suggested, and I had suggested putting the tower at the same location as the well because of the hydraulics and everything. He agreed that that would be a good spot. I think that was probably before they ever started designing any sports fields or anything. So, but since that time, and with the conflict with the sports field, they haven't come back with an alternative to say, okay, we can't put it there, we don't want to put it there, we'll put it someplace else. Here's property where it can be developed. But we've never got anything from that. We don't own the land, and we're not the developer, so we can't just arbitrarily go stick a tower someplace. It's their responsibility.
Yeah, I personally agree with KCI. I mean, I think they're going to put it where the best place for the town of Elkton, logistically and operationally. But I just didn't want to see this sports complex suddenly become, oh, it's not quite what we thought it was, that, oh, now it's going to be downsized to a point where it's not as it was originally proposed. That's the only thing I was curious about.
It was just one field. It was just field number 7.
Well, does that?
Well, I'd like to interject real quickly. I probably know more about the project
Yes.
than everyone, and it makes it very difficult on Zoom meetings to express. But what has been came across to me is if the water tower could be moved 50 feet. 50 feet. And when I say 50 feet, I don't know in what direction. That would save all of field number 7, let's say. And if we don't move it, then here's what has to happen. You've got state-of-the-art fields, which is, I think, a total of 7 or 8 fields. The distance between each field, between 7 and 6, would have to be shrunk down. And it takes away from being able to pick up the trash between the fields. You need a certain amount of space in between each field. So they would squeeze everything together to try to make up to keep that full distance of the field. Also, then they would have to install netting
Safety
between each field, which would mean now you got a site that looks wide open and pretty clear. But going to your point, Gene, you live by a ball field and you've seen them put the poles up with the netting. That would have to then happen between every field and along the road, because the distances between each field would be shrunk.
Exactly.
So it would give it a whole, quite frankly, not a very pleasant look.
The safety would be involved with that, as far as people sitting balls will be falling in other fields.
And- Yeah, and that's why they would have to put the netting up, because the safety distances would be shrunk down to where they'd have to put the netting up. But I was told, but to Lewis's point, if they haven't shared an option to move it 50 feet, then, shame on them. I was under the understanding that they had submitted, but if they haven't submitted anything, then.
Well, let me interject here. They have submitted something, and what they did submit was like moving everything, taking out that forest and buffer next to the goods property there in Frenchtown
Okay.
Road, eliminating all that and moving the tower down the field to a lower elevation. They did submit that. That's not the ideal situation that we're looking for, because it destroys that buffer and sticks the
Okay.
tower practically in our yard. But so I don't know if the board wants to do that or not. Of course, we can pay an engineer to do anything you want them to do, but I don't know.
Well, listen, I think that what we probably need to do is, if we could, I think I don't really know what direction to go here. I think that if we could work, if there's an ability, I don't want to do anything that would endanger, it's probably the most critical piece of infrastructure on this site, as Lewis stated.
Yeah.
We can't do anything that would jeopardize that infrastructure. And, but saying that, part of my conversations this morning, and I shouldn't be the one to announce this, but some of the things that that they have discussed with me this morning, which hasn't been signed off on, it's going to be, this is going to be the nicest facility between Maine and Florida, and the technology that they're doing is going to make it where the Major League Baseball organizations will want to be participate in this. So I can't go any more to talk about that.
That's okay, Rob, but that's exactly my point. If it's supposed to be state of the art, then we certainly don't want them squeezing anything in. We don't want them to have to resort to netting, because I'll tell you, netting does not work. If anything, rather than squeezing in between fields, they ought to be expanding in between fields.
Yes.
They have more ground than they need, even if you wanted a walking path or something like that. But squeezing in, using netting, and too close to the road or houses that's the only thing that's going to keep it acceptable in my mind.
So Rob, Jane, I'm just asking again. I don't know. I'm asking, Rob, do they have an engineer that can talk to our engineer to figure out what they can come up with? I'm just asking because, like I said, I'm all for the sports complex, because that was supposed to be the first thing put in.
Yep.
And without that, it's just altering and changing. I guess not our dream, but their dream too. But I'm saying, why aren't their engineer sharing anything with our engineer?
They've been working with our engineers. They've been
Okay,
working.
So again, do we have a plan A and a plan B? That's what my question was asking.
They gave a proposal for a narrow tract of land to put the well and the tower on. And our engineer said that it was not wide enough.
Okay.
And in order to get it wider, they tried to move it north, and they moved it north. They ended up in a lower area, which means then you got to build a higher tower to get the same elevation. And they would have to remove all the existing forest buffer there, and they're practically in this one woman's backyard.
Couldn't we build a privacy wall there instead of the tree line buffer?
Well, it's an existing forest retention area that they would have to, that they could revise or update the forest conservation area and move the forest, but the buffer, the benefit of the buffer is the screening from the tower.
Gene, is it a matter of redesigning the residential development and maybe losing a couple lots? Is that what it comes up to, or?
I'd have to look at the plan to see exactly where the well is with respect to the future single families that are going to go in there.
I mean, I think, yeah, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to throw a little curveball at us and something to take a look at. The town of Elkton owns some land right there on Route 40, or I'm sorry, on Route 213. On the other side of Whitehall Road. Is that elevation high enough for a water tower? Because that's in the area where they originally wanted to put it, or KCI wanted to put it.
I'm sorry, what was the location?
It's the parcel of land that we acquired about 2 years ago
With forest conservation money, yeah, the one we bought.
on 213, and we have that commercial lot there.
Yeah.
It's behind the townhouses on
Yeah, I know what you
Whitehall
mean,
Road.
behind Elkwood Estates.
Yes.
Would that elevation, I wonder if that elevation, now, if it's going to cause more of an issue to have another pumping station to pump the water into that, I don't know how that works. But if just a suggestion, I don't know if that would make any sense or not at all. I don't know. I don't know if it makes any sense.
I don't know how that would be a constructability issue, because you'd have to go under, do some really significant directional drilling, I think, to even get in there, and access to it through Elkwood Estates. I don't know. It would require, it could, the answer to that is you can pay an engineer to do a design for it. But I don't know how long it would take to do that, because when you build a tower, because of the load created by a tower, there's a lot more involved than just where it is and how it's elevated. They have to do borings, and there's a lot of geotechnical work that has to be done in order to support the weight of it, and the piping to and from and all that, and the design of the well in order to put water in it. And I'm not sure how that would work with the well number 1R and 2R that are in Holly Hall with respect to the how that would work, the hydraulics.
I mean, Ligi did provide some creative alternatives showing the water tower sort of as part of an amenity in the ballpark, like in the middle of the ballpark. She showed examples.
That sounds good until you have to paint it.
So you have to paint it, and you have to shut everything down and cover it.
And you have to do it in the summer too, because of paint curing.
Right.
And you can't do it below a certain temperature. That's the worst place you could ever put it, is in the middle of some place that's a recreational area.
It was an idea.
Whose idea was that?
Ligi, one of our engineers.
She never painted a tower, I guess.
You painted 4.
Well, listen, let's
4 of them.
Let's kind of leave this conversation and listen, if there's, I think that we all do agree that we wanted this to be the state-of-the-art facility, but we also have to maintain our infrastructure to the best of our ability. But maybe let's take another look at it and see if there's something we could tweak that we both win. Kind of take a look at it. Everyone kind of agree with that?
I agree.
And I agree with that idea 100%.
All right. Well, thank you. Anyone else from the board have anything to say?
When's our Christmas tree lighting downtown? Is that this Friday?
It's this Friday virtual, what I was told. It's a virtual lighting.
What time?
I would say it would be at dark, so I'm assuming it would be 6 o'clock. I did receive something from the Elkton Alliance. Let me see if I can pull it up here real quick. But it was a virtual lighting on Friday night. Oh, now my computer doesn't want to open up. Nothing new. From, let's see here, Jessica. Of course, when you're looking for it, you can never find it. But it's definitely this Friday, and I am sure it was at 6 o'clock, and they're going to do a virtual lighting is what they're doing. But I'll send an email out to everyone as soon as I find it.
Well,
Cool.
thank you. Yeah, I'm still losing my emails, unfortunately.
Okay. Anyone else from the board have any questions or comments? All right, we got 3 callers online. Have anything for the good of the town of Elkton?
I'm unmuting him. Hold on.
Okay,
That's Mr. Lemon, isn't it?
I think
Yes.
so.
There we are.
Can you hear me?
We got you, Mr. Lemon.
I support what Gene is saying, Gene Bromell. Commissioner Bromell, we need to do this sports things right. I was very impressed. I was going to make a comment in the last meeting, but my phone went dead on me. But that's a very impressive presentation that gentleman made, and we should do it the right way. And a water tower shouldn't be in the way. Anyway, that's my comment. I wanted to ask about the police department. How many officers are we down, and are we in the process of hiring new ones?
We're going to let our new chief handle that one.
There you go.
We are down to, I believe it's 38 sworn officers right now. And so that puts us down at about 6 vacancies. I do have one person that's not included in that vacancy who is in the academy now in Carroll County. And I have 3 candidates that are just finishing up the final testing. And we're hoping to bring them on board by the end of the month, and they would go to Harford County's academy that starts early January.
Good.
That's positive. And
Yes.
Are we working to fill the full count, or is that going to be it?
Oh, no, we absolutely are working. We just did another written test. I believe it was last week, and on the 15th, we have an oral board scheduled. So that's starting for the next process.
Well, I think what I heard you say is that you'll have, did you say 3 new people by the end of the year?
As long as testing finishes well, yes, we will have 3.
Okay, that's good. That's super. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to change the subject. At the last meeting, parking meters came up for Christmas, and you have to have them around the hospital. That's going to be a continuous requirement. And my question is, have we ever done a study of parking meters to see how many we could put in the town and new ones, and what kind of revenue it would? Have we talked to Newark or somebody that does this, has already done this?
To answer your, I'm going to not directly answer your question, Mr. Lemon. We've done a lot of parking meter studies, but we currently are going to give the holidays, of course, free parking during the holidays, but Public Works and the police department have removed the heads off of all the parking meters, and they're going to be refinishing the meters during this holiday season and placing them back in service, I think in January. I know that doesn't really kind of answer your questions, but everything will be up and running again at the first of the year.
No, that's a good comment, though, because the comment I heard is a lot of them are not working because they don't have replacement parts and stuff like that. So
they are being restored.
Pardon?
They are being restored. Fingers crossed that Purnell's Auto Body is restoring them for us, and I think that they're going to turn out very well.
Oh,
That's a very positive comment, but it seems to me, if you've all been to Newark, and you can put your credit card in there and all kinds of other things, and it'd be interesting to find out if we actually put in state-of-the-art parking meters throughout the town, what kind of revenue we would pick up And of course, how long it would take to pay off the cost and that kind of thing.
Thank you. Very good.
I've got two more questions.
Go ahead, sir.
Jeannie Minner, who is probably irreplaceable, we were going to put somebody in place to train to learn her job. Where do we stand on that?
Mr. Lemon, Nick Canastrasi is the new planner one, and he is attending this meeting as we speak.
Okay.
He's
So
doing
how
a
long
great
is
job.
it before you retire?
Is this one of those, here's your hat, what's your hurry? It won't be for a little while yet. It's at least about a year and a half is what I'm looking at.
Oh, that's great. That's great. A person that we deal with in our business said that they were going to retire at the end of this year, and all of a sudden they're going to be there 3 more years. I couldn't be happier. That's great. Super. Love it. Okay. My only other question is I see that if you read the website, it says the Armory's all purchased and everything. Where do we stand on the Armory now?
Lou, I'm going to put you on.
Well, yesterday I was over in the basement of the Armory vacuuming up water from the storm. So as far as the condition of the Armory, it's being preserved at this time. But because the military occupied that for 106 years, it really didn't design it for ease of public use, because it's all cut up into little offices all over the place with some very old and let's say antiquated fixtures involved. So before we could ever use that for any significant public events, we're going to have to put a lot of money into it. And I don't know how many grants we can get to do that. We're still in the precipice of realizing that we own a huge building, another building in town that we have to maintain. But we're preserving it. That's our primary goal here.
Once we get a list of things you want done to the things that need to be done to the Armory, there's several grants that are coming up that I'd be happy to apply for.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I say it would seem to me you'd lay out a plan of what needs to be done, and then let Jean see if she can get the money to cover it. And but what Jean just said, I think, is that we have to move fairly fast.
I can't move quickly on it because we don't have budgets for doing any architectural work or anything like that. We have to do it as time permits.
Well, the sooner the better, I would say. Anyway, that's all I had. I appreciate your letting me make my comments.
Thank you, Mr. Lemon.
Mr. Lemon, are you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay, I wanted to comment on, you had asked Chief Rogers about the police officers, and she didn't comment on it for probably good reason. But when you hire a policeman and you put them in the academy is usually about 6 months long. And then they come out and they're in field training for, I don't know if it's 2 months now or a month or
About
8
3
weeks.
months.
Yeah. And when they're done the field training, I think they decide to turn them loose to see what happens, so to speak. But and a couple years from that point, they really become much more experienced. And so having a policeman on the street is not a quick process. So I think the chief of police in this particular case realizes that and is making every effort to get as many as she can in the academy and get them out and get them trained. So as the sports complex and all the other housing developments occur in the Southfields, they'll actually have theoretically sufficient police to service their needs, public safety as well as law enforcement.
Yeah, you may need more people when the sports complex comes into being.
Absolutely.
That's interesting. But the sports complex, I'm repeating, I was very impressed. I think that's a big deal, and we should do it the right way.
Oh, I think they're going to do it the right way. There's every effort to do it the right way.
All right. Thank you, guys. Okay.
Thanks.
We have on the line 443-3.
Hi, Pat Opal, 137 Milestone Road, Elkton.
Hi,
I
Pat.
just wanted to congratulate, hello, whoever said that. I just want to congratulate the new chief of police. And
Yeah.
on behalf of Historic Elk Landing, we hope to continue our relationship we have with the police department. And anything she needs, any assistance she might need down there, I am available pretty much 24 hours a day.
Thank you. That's
And-
good to know.
And I also had one other idea, which might be stupid, but I'll do it anyway. Last meeting, they were talking about the Toys for Tots program was way down this year,
Mm-hmm.
and of course we can understand that. In lieu of having the town party for volunteers, which obviously we can't do, there was this. They were going to send out letters and of whatever for everybody. Would they? You know, me personally, I don't have to have a letter from the town thanking me for anything. I do it because I like it. Is there any way they could take that money and donate it to the Toys for Tots program instead of, you know, sending out letters to people that, you know, help the town out?
I would say, Pat, we've already got the ball rolling on the thank you letters to the town board, but I will personally ask every member of the Elkton team if they'd like to contribute a toy to the Toys for Tots program. They could do so. I think that we do collect toys, or we did in the past. The Comcast building in the Big Elk Mall is currently the location that people can drop off their unwrapped toy. So if they want to do that and choose to do that, we are here to support that.
Okay, it was just an idea I had.
Thank you, Pat.
If I don't talk to everybody, have a good holiday.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Okay, we have a Tracy Spisak on the phone on the site. Do you have anything for the town of Elkton?
Yes, I do. Actually, I was interested in Holly Hall. I seen that there was something proposed back in 2000 and maybe 14 or 16. I'm not sure if you have anything already planned for Holly Hall. I've done a little bit of research and I see that, you know, a lot of the residents are saying that it's an eyesore. It either needs to be torn down, but as a historical building, you know, they would like, I'm sure that most people would like to see that it's rebuilt.
That
So
is,
the question, yeah.
yeah, Tracy, that building is near and dear to my heart, and I would love to see it absolutely restored.
Okay.
Our challenge with that property is it belongs to the Cordish Company, who owns the Big Elk Mall.
Okay.
And we have I can tell you, Gene Minner probably has a file a mile long that we have attempted to try to entice him on many ways to restore that property.
Okay.
And, you know, he's the property owner and we've tried every which angle. We've even asked him to donate it to the town of Elkton so that we would be able to apply for grants to be able to get that building restored. But it is a valuable historic site. It is an eyesore. It's getting worse every day. And I appreciate you coming on because we'll send him another letter. And
okay, well, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I've actually spoken with the Cornish Company. I understand that I think the new person that's in charge of that, he's only been in touch with this or in charge of it for about 8 months. He said he was going to speak with John Peters about it.
Yep.
And then and then get back to me on it.
Okay.
So yeah, I've done a little legwork, and maybe that he's new. You know, maybe that might be to our advantage.
Very possible. And listen, we're going to reach out to John again. We know John very well. I mean, he's the property manager for Cordish over in that in the Big Elk Mall area.
Right.
And we'll reach out to him again. And I've met with David Cordish probably 5 times about this property. And each time it's been, yes, we're going to do something. Yes, we're going to do something. Yes, we're going to do something. And nothing happens.
Right.
So we will reach out again and listen, it doesn't hurt that you and your neighbors reach out to him also. I mean, could be a big help to us.
Okay, yeah, I would be willing to put together a project plan as
Perfect.
far as get everything done.
Could you give us, could you reach out to maybe Jean Minner a little later, call her at 398, well, at 4999 and give her your name and address and phone number so we have it.
Okay,
Also-
Jean Minner?
Yes, on the
And what's-
director of planning here.
Okay, I'm sorry, I missed.
Town
their-
planner, do you have a pencil or a pen on you?
Yes, I do. Of course I do.
Okay,
Our
our number is
website.
398
398
499.
499.
9.
Yep. All nines, 4 and a 9, 39.
Oh, okay. And the area code?
410.
410. I'm sorry. I'm
Mhm.
all over the place.
Also, to encourage investment in this property was also included in the proposed expansion of the enterprise zone in Elkton.
Okay.
And that is before the state now, waiting for their approval. The enterprise zone provides tax credits for improvement to properties, hiring, and that sort of thing. So it's
Right.
an enticement to develop or redevelop a site.
Okay.
You know, we've offered to purchase the property.
Really?
It's very frustrating.
Wow. All right. Well, I'll see what I can do on my end. And I have a lot of good ideas for it. As far as, bringing jobs into the community, as far as restoring it.
Yeah.
Also, I know that there's a big homeless problem in that area. And as you were talking about building this baseball field and, how nice it's going to be, I'm sure that you'd want to clean up this Elkton area.
Right. Tracy, I would like to stop you there. There is the homeless situation where they were encamping on that property, and the property behind there was cleaned up several years ago.
Oh, from the cats? Have you seen the cats lately?
Well, the cats are terrible.
Yeah.
The cats are terrible, but the homeless people, there's the encampments have been cleaned up.
Yeah. I visit with the Planet Fitness at odd hours, and I happen to see the, I would say displaced people, roaming about at night. It's very unsettling, that you can't help everyone. But if there are people out there that are willing, to get jobs, there's a lot of businesses in the area, which of course would flourish the business itself with after this COVID passes through. There's going to be a lot of job opportunities for these people if they have proper resources.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for speaking up today, and we'll follow up. Please follow up with Jean Minner and give us your information.
Okay. All right, wonderful. Thank you so much for letting me speak.
Thank you. If there's anyone else needed anything to say for the good of the town of Elkton? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned.